In a never-ending commitment to bringing you the latest development and creative AI, Bob Doyle Media scales to the highest heights to find the most innovative, the most groundbreaking tools you can get your hands on. In the world of AI music generation, where innovation is everywhere, we found a platform that is trying something a little different.
Welcome back to the channel where we discuss the creative uses of AI. And the creative AI world right now is very busy between all the video advancements and now, of course, the music advancements. We've got some big players out there that everybody knows. And as I record this, one of the biggest players has a lot of attention because they've just released a new version. And of course, I will definitely get to that. But right now, I want to share something with you that may be flying under the musical radar for you. And I'm talking about Mureka. If you ever looked at Mureka in the past and thought, join the club. I turned down partnering with them several times because although they had some really innovative ideas, which they have now implemented in a wonderful way, back then the results were still pretty lackluster and I just couldn't put out a video on it because it was such a backward step in terms of the quality that people have come to expect, despite the innovative ways they tried to change how this is done. Mureka is a platform like Suno and Udio and the others in that you create complete songs in various styles based on text or other input. And it's this area of other input that Mureka is doing things just a little bit differently. But let me show you why I turned them down at first. And by the way, this is definitely a headphones on video. Without giving too much backstory, this is the first result I got using Mureka with lyrics that it had created, based on a ridiculous title that I gave it with misspellings, That Cat That Wore a Belt with Your, which was supposed to be The Cat Who Wore a Belt with You, but here are the results. Now, the first thing I noticed is that the piano sounded like old MIDI instruments, not at all what we're accustomed to with the services today.
My cat, he's wearing a belt. He can do it all day long.
So we can't listen to that, but here's that same song when you use Mureka's reference audio feature. In this case, I uploaded this reference audio to guide it in the style.
Oh my honey, better hurry and let's meander.
And here's what it came up with.
My caddy's wearing a belt. He can do it all day long. I guess I have to go home now, 'cause all he wants is attention.
Lyrics aside, that's a pretty cool transfer of styles. Here's another example of an early attempt of using their Melody Ideas feature, which allows you to record an audio line right there on the page, and then it will base the generation on that line. Here's what I sang.
I'm trying to be someone I'm not. Pressure's mounting in my chest. I've got to let this out. I need to let it go. I'm tired of all the thoughts inside my head.
All right, so that's what I was going for based on these lyrics here. I was just reading along with what they had generated, and then here's what I got at the time. Let me skip ahead. All right, see, again, unlistenable. This time I used other reference audio that sounded like this. And here's what Mureka came up with.
I'm trying to be somewhere I'm not. Pressure's mounting in my chest. I want to let this out. I need to let it go.
So, marked improvement. So then I started generating new pieces, and that's what I want to share with you today. And as I share some of these generations, I'm going to show you how I use the new features to create them. So for this first example, forgive me, because I know it's just silly lyrics again, and I know I get a lot of grief from people about the styles of music I choose and the lyrics I choose, and I'm going to try and do something more mainstream later, but this was the first example I did. So I wrote this goofy little song called P-Do, and it's based on a true story of when I sit at my desk too long, and then I suddenly realized, oh my God, I haven't gone to the bathroom in about a year and a half. So for this, I used the description feature, which is kind of what you're used to with the other services where you tell it the style that you want. In this case, I just wrote Barbershop Quartet a cappella. I won't make you listen to the whole thing, but check this out.
I wait too long till I have to pee.
I let it well up inside of me, and when I realize it's too late, I should never hesitate.
guy who works all day.
But that's okay, 'cause my work is play. In fact, it's just so freaking fun. I'd recommend it to everyone. But I drink water all day long. And although my bladder is quite strong, it has its limits, yes it does.
And now, if you'll indulge me again with some silliness, I had ChatGPT write some nonsense lyrics, and then I used the description, a call and response band where a leader says something and a chorus sings back. Now there's a little bit of nonsense here at the beginning, and then it clicks in to the lyrics I gave it.
A flim flam floggle, the gribbly toggle, a wibble wobble wuzzle with a jibbity joggle. Zam zam zoodle, the peefity poodle, a tinker tonka toodle and a wobbly noodle. Ding dong dapple, a squibbity scrapple, a fluffle ruffle ripple in a jibbly grapple. Bam bam booter, the sippity zooter, a whizzle razzle wiggler with a bubbly scooter.
Really good fidelity on these voices, a definite improvement in some of the quality we get some of the other services. So this time, same lyrics, but I used different reference audio. This time I used this.
Start spreading the news.
You're familiar with that, and here's what it gave me. Well, you know, it's probably a live performance. He's walking across the stage, people are throwing flowers and stuff, and then...
Flim flam floggle, the gribbly snoggle, a wibble wobble wuzzle with a jibbity joggle. Sam sam zoodle, the peefity poodle, a tinka tanka toodle in a wobbly noodle.
And it goes on, it's so fun. Same lyrics, this reference audio. All right, and it gave us this.
Flim flam flabble, the gribbly snuggle. A wibble wobble wuzzle with a jibbity juggle. Zam zam zoodle, the piffity poodle, a tinka tanka toodle and a wobbly noodle. Ding dong gapple, the squibbity scrapple. A flapper of a ripple and a jibbly grapple. Bam bam booter, the zippity zooter, a whistle razzle wiggler with a bubble scooter. Hooray hizzle, the blinkety bizzle, a trippy choppy twizzle and a zippity drizzle. Zip zap zong, the flappity fong, let's sing a ling a wingle in a fancy song.
So while it's not an exact transfer of the style all the time, it generally will pick up an essence. Now, it is definitely hit or miss. Both of these examples transferred pretty well. I've got some examples that aren't exact, so you'll see how it varies from time to time, but it's still a great way to direct the styles. Before we get to the next example, let me just give you a quick rundown of the basics of this thing, because I'm making a lot of assumptions about what you know and what you don't know, and this has some pretty cool tools to make the writing and formatting of the song a lot easier. First, let's go up here to the Basic tab, because everything I've showed you so far has been done in the Advanced tab. In the Basic tab, it is very basic. All you can do is say something as simple as write a barbershop quartet song about peanut butter and jelly. And you'll see that it created lyrics, including all the formatting. Intro, verse, chorus. It can put in bridge, it can put in pre-chorus. It'll do all of that automatically for you. Here's what it came up with that simple prompt.
I'm just a little bit alive, better than nothing at all. And when I'm with you, I know that I could never go wrong. Peanut butter, jelly, jelly, tasted together. Gets more than a belly full. Love you forever.
So I really like that take on it, and it gave me this alternative.
I'm just a little bit of love, better than nothing at all.
know that I can never go wrong. Peanut butter, jelly, jelly, tasted together. It's more than a belly full. Love you forever. There's something in my heart that needs somebody to want. And if there is someone who's right, you're the way it should be now. Peanut butter, jelly, jelly, tasted together. It's more than a bellyful. Love you for.
So although that is not strictly barbershop quartet, I love what it did with it, and barbershop got me there. So it does a great job even in the basic mode, but the advanced mode is where all the power is. We'll clear all this out here, and you can just start with a basic idea if you don't have lyrics. But here it wants us to enter a song title, like The Time We Almost Met. And then I'm going to click right about the time we almost met. It created intro, verse, chorus. Now I would always double check the lyrics, because if there's one thing Mureka's good at, it's creating bizarro lyrics. Like sometimes it's just crazy what it comes up with. Humorously crazy, but luckily you have the full ability to change them before you click create. Once you've got your lyrics, that's when you're going to choose your style. You now have 4 ways to do it. Reference, as we've shown you, you choose a pre-recorded song, and there's a few ways you can do that. They have a library of samples here that you can use.
I like the way you kiss. Guess who you gone, but you're still nothing to it for you. Yes, I want a coffee.
And if you want to transfer any of those styles to what you're doing, you just click on use and that will work. You can also upload songs of your own. And in the case of the Andrews Sisters song I did at the beginning, just copy the URL of that song, paste it right here, click on done, and it will do the rest. Once the clip is loaded, you choose the 30-second clip you want to be representative of, and then you're going to give it a song title, and then give it some kind of genre. I'll say jazz, and I'll say energetic, and then click on done. And now that's going to show up under the Mine tab when I click that as Andrews 2 as a style I can use. I've showed you how the reference and the description work so far, but we haven't checked out the vocal. If I click on vocal, we have a set of predefined voices that we can use and apply to anything that we do. We can preview them by clicking the play button.
I drew the craft in the song, but the path.
Because this song is written from a male point of view, we'll use Roderick here, and we'll generate that. By the way, the generation times are totally in line with everybody else. It's not too long, it's not instant, it's totally doable. Maybe between 30 seconds and a minute.
Oh, you know I've been a good man since you left me. I'm every woman and every bit of her, but on my worst nights, it's hard to be the one who makes it stop.
That's what I'm talking about with the lyrics. They really just don't make any sense. Here's the other version.
You know I've been a good man since you left me. I'm every woman and every bit of her, but on my worst nights, it's hard to be the one who makes it stop.
With Melody Ideas, it allows you to record directly to the web page a melody that you'd like, and I'm going to share more examples of that as we go along. So let's get back into the demos. Now, in this example, I was trying to do a real topic with a real theme that real songwriters would write about, and so I gave it the idea, a relationship gone bad. And then it came up with these lyrics. I went back later and changed the title because I don't want the title to be a good relationship gone bad. I want it to be appropriate to the lyrics that were generated. So I changed it to Is There Anything? In this case, I combined a reference audio with a vocal choice.
I dreamed of crafting a song, but
And it gave me this.
I got an idea how to make this go down easy, but you don't wanna hear me spout my poetry. 'Cause I just wanna take you home and I'd be in no hurry. But you say you're fine by yourself, good luck with that, honey. I can't seem to let you go, and I know it's over, so is there anything I could say? Is there anything I could do? Is there anything I I should have done for us? Is there anything I should have said? Is there anything I should have thought of? You told me you were leaving 'cause you didn't love me. So I'ma pack your things, I put the bed out on the table. Toast to you and all the times we shared together. Now I'll spend the rest of my life alone, just trying to get over you. I can't seem to let you go.
So then it kind of cycles through the chorus again, but it really did some dramatic stuff with that. And it took a minute to get to the Katrina and the Waves style. It started out very slow and you think there's no transference at all, but it just sort of works with it and builds where it thinks it's appropriate. In this case, I just gave it the title, We Should Carpool, had it generate the lyrics, and used this as a reference, and then this as a vocal,
I dreamed of crafting a song,
and got this.
I just need to get away from it all. The only thing that I do is work and fall asleep at home. It ain't good for my health.
Okay, in this case, I'm just using this reference audio.
The soldier came knocking upon the queen's door.
And then we get this.
I just need to get away from it all. The only thing that I do is work and fall asleep at home. It ain't good for my health, it ain't good for me. But we gotta make money, how else will we be? So let's carpool, carpool, let's carpool, carpool with each other and talk about random stuff on the way to our jobs. We can smoke a little weed if we wanna carpool and save up some dough so we don't run out of gas. My bitch and your bitch is gonna be with us. Now we gon' have fun all day, you know why.
So that style transfer was great, but you can see what I'm talking about with the lyrics. Like all of a sudden there's talking about smoking weed and calling people bitches. So I don't know where that came from. It's hilarious, but I absolutely love the musicality. So for this one called My Mother, I used a feature that allows you to use their AI to write line by line. I had written, I'm going into town to visit my brother. She's the one who gave birth to my brother. Then I used this feature down here, write next line. And then it came up with something random. And then I just kept doing it, and I kept doing it, and I kept doing it, and I kept doing it. And then I finally clicked this, finished these lyrics, and it finished the whole thing out for me. And then that's what I used to drive the song. But of course, it's not these lyrics, because these have been randomly generated for this example. To get back to what it gave me, I can go over to this song in my playlist and click the three dots and click on Restore. And that helps me to easily bring back all the parameters, all the lyrics, everything I chose. So in this case, I chose this vocal style.
I dreamed of crafting a song, but
and let the style of that vocal dictate the style of the song, and I got this.
I'm going into town to visit my mother. She's the one who gave birth to my brother. My mother is going to die of loneliness, and she wants me there with this bad news. I'm just doing what I do.
So let's go listen to another one. This time I used the description, a bouncy ragtime band with a male lead singer.
I'm going into town to visit my mother. She's the one who gave birth to my brother. My mother is going to die of loneliness, and she wants me there with this bad news. I'm just doing what I do. I want you by my side, I want your hand in mine, but all these years have been too long, and I can't stay here any longer. I ain't got no time to waste on heartbreaks and baby blues, 'cause we both know that I don't belong.
So that's a little chaotic. So every now and then you get a miss, at least in my opinion, where the chord structure doesn't quite line up and the melody doesn't quite work and it's just sort of confused. But in my experience, that is the exception rather than the rule. But sometimes those exceptions can be pretty funny. Here's another example of using one of their pre-made voices.
In a song, but the path felt so hard.
And using lyrics they generated when I gave it the prompt, a song about meeting someone for the first time, and it came up with this.
I saw you standing just a shadow away, a quiet glow in the noise of the day. No words were spoken, but my heart took flight. Caught in a moment, a spark in the light. From across the room you stole my heart, a quiet connection, a world apart. No need for words, no grand display, just your presence and I'm swept away.
Now with some of these descriptions, you can get pretty weirdly specific. Like in this case, it was a guy with a guitar in a dive bar.
Wanted to work out for like a week, but I was too tired. So I'm still watching TV with my feet up on the seat.
So that's fun. Now, if there's a weak link in this chain, to me, it's the melody ideas. I haven't had anything that I would call a true success, but I don't necessarily blame the technology, and I think it might actually be a problem with my system because whenever I listen to what I upload, it's kind of garbled and compressed. It sounds like this.
Who are the tiny one who lives in a tree? I look at you and you look at me.
And that's a problem I'm having with any site that allows me to record from my browser. So I'm not going to blame Mureka for that. But I gave it the title, You Live in a Tree and We Look at Each Other, and it wrote the words. And here's what we got. That humming that you hear at the beginning is something that happens a lot when I upload a melody line. The song starts out with somebody sort of humming it to themselves, and then the song starts, and this is an example. And it's not exactly what I hummed, but it is based on it.
There's a man who lives in a tree. His name is Patrick, but he's a she. She likes to talk to me and say her hair won't fall out. And if you love her like I love her, then you'll buy her books and do what she said.
So again, kind of weird lyric. And again, this was the melody recording.
You are the tiny one who lives in a tree. I look at you and you look at me.
So I was definitely going for something specific which didn't really translate here. Here's another example. Here's the melody line that I sent up that goes along with the lyrics here.
What do you do when you hear a song but you want the lyrics out?
And then we did get this.
What do you do when you hear a song but you want lyrics out?
So it copied the melody.
Is there a way to remove those things so you don't have to pout?
Here's another example that I did with the Mother song. This is the melody that I sent up.
I'm going into town to visit my mother. She's the one who gave birth to my brother.
So in my mind, I was like a doom dum dum doom dum. I'm going into town to visit my mother. That's what I was kind of having in my head, but this is what it gave me. So that's a variation of what I hummed in there. My brother. And then it goes off on its own. And now we're into the real thing.
I'm going into town to visit my mother. She's the one who gave birth to my brother. My mother is gonna die of loneliness, and she wants me there with this bad news. I'm just doing what I do.
So I don't hear any remnants of my original melody anymore, do you?
I want you by my side, I want your hand in mine, but all these years have been too long.
I'd say it straight away from the melody that I gave it rather significantly. Even though my personal opinion is that the melody ideas need some work, it is in beta and I might be using it wrong. The description and the vocal and the references are working great and producing some really high quality audio that of course you can download, including the stems. They even have a commercial license certificate that you can download for your song. It has your name, user ID, contact information, and certifies that the particular song that you have created is an AI music work created by you, the user, using Mureka via a large language model on the date that it was done, and the ownership, title, interest to and from across the board, including without limitation, all intellectual property rights, if any contained therein, belong to who? The user. That's you. So while the world is rightfully going crazy on what's going on with the other platforms, I wanted to at least let you know that Mureka was out there, and if you had checked it out before and had the same kind of reaction I did initially, I invite you to go check it out again. As you can see, I used up all but one of the credits they gave me because I got addicted to the fun of the results. If these are the types of tools you like to learn more about, then why not subscribe to the channel, because this is what we cover all the time.
If you subscribe now, I will not look for you. I will not pursue you. But if you do not, I will look for you. I will find you, and I